genocide.
Divided with the blood of 1,000 men and women were spilled within these walls. Limbs twisted and broken, eyes gouged from bloody sockets, flesh burned black.
Please. No way for death. In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no schemes. What you have to realize is that we're all just a mouse that a cat has by the tail.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
Warning, the following show contains conservative posturing, radical Christian ideas, and may offend pagans, Wiccans, Islamic fundamentalists, and other unenlightened individuals. Callers and guests may be subjected to brash and offensive comments by the hosts and any other type of bullying tactics available. But that's okay. We know why you're here.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Tonight is Monday, July 9th, 2007.
What's up, guys? This is Jay Scott.
Hey, it's Trent. How you doing, Kurdistan? Yeah.
Kurdistan, yeah.
I'm sorry, I just heard it on the news.
We get a lot of strange listeners from all over the world.
That's true, we do. None from Kurdistan.
Well, I don't know, man. We get
Kurdistan doesn't exist, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's not a real country or anything.
That tells you how much I'm up on foreign,
The Kurds want a country, you know, but there isn't
Kurds,
one.
yeah.
The
Duh,
Kurds.
I can't even
Not
believe
Kurds
that.
and Way,
Yeah.
like there's
I
Kurdistan
gotcha.
and Wayistan, you know?
I feel like a moron now. All right. That's great. That's great.
I'm going to stop with that.
Okay.
Hey, guys.
God, that's awful. Kurdistan and Wayistan.
Yeah, if I were some ethnic population, I'd be going, Kurdistan, oh yeah? We're going to be called the Ways.
Did you hear about what Bono said?
About what?
Okay, Bono said
I've heard,
it's finally scientifically proven that we all...
I have heard that.
Okay, yeah, that somehow or another we're all like African. They can link all humanity back to like some age-old
Genetic
African
complex.
tribe.
Yeah, it's the oldest genome, actually. That's why
The oldest genome.
Yeah, there are more variants in African Americans as far as facial features than there are in any other race.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it has some connection between that and the Aborigines in Melanesia and Australia.
Well, see, this is coming back to prove the biblical point that we all came from Adam and Eve.
Well,
not Adam and Steve, by the way.
That was some other planet.
Yeah.
Some other universe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, but like I said, it has some connection between Africa and Melanesia and Australia, you know, and the Aborigine people and this tribe that Bono was talking about. I read it right before I came in today.
All right. Well, I just thought that was an interesting little side note tidbit. Tonight on the show, we have Ethan Dettenmaier coming back to join us again to talk more about Sin-Jin Smyth and a bunch of other crazy stuff I hear he's doing. I'm going to save it, though, and let him tell it because it's pretty crazy.
Yep.
It is pretty crazy. But first of all, I have an announcement to make. Chuck's like, no. I have them here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do. I've got control of this ship. Well, apparently. Apparently.
Sources have it.
I am.
Legend has it that
I'm getting married. Yes, that's right. I, Jay Scott, am getting married. I'm taking the plunge. Finally taking the plunge. So that's going to be great. I'm finally taking the plunge. Finally doing the deed, getting hitched.
Yeah, just in case, I'll arrange a last-minute flight to Austria. You know,
okay, great.
30 minutes before the wedding.
But
just in case. You know?
I'm not doing the standard traditional wedding. I'm doing it a little bit differently. That's right. A Scottish wedding. A Scottish wedding, complete, not only with myself and the new bride-to-be, but the gang from Wotu. We're all going to be in kilts. That's
I want
right.
a sword.
No underwear.
Can I have a sword?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll all get swords.
All right.
No underwear.
I really
It's
want
going to
a
be
sword.
great when we sit down
I
at
want a
the
claymore,
table
yeah.
to eat. Yeah.
We're just gonna sit there and go like, "Well, how you doing there?"
Especially if the table's elevated compared to the rest of the group.
Which it should be. It's outside, and there should be a breeze blowing by. It's like, my, this is
Oh, that's a wee bit nipply, isn't it?
that's a pleasant weather, eh?
And I've got to get some, we're going to have bagpipers, but I've got to get some old Scottish dude like Michael Myers, his dad, his drunk dad, and So I Married an Axe Murderer, where he's like, if you want my body and you think I'm sexy, it's got a bagpipe guy. I just thought that was funny.
Oh, it'd be crazy.
But, it'll be a lot of fun. We're thinking about Castle McCulloch, maybe. We're going to go down, check that out.
Yeah, I broke into that place one time.
Okay. I hope the statute of limitations is run on that one.
I didn't really break into it.
Now the story changes.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was a special thing. We wanted to see the castle, but not anybody can just waltz in and see the castle. So you have to have a backstory to see the castle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with the wedding party.
It's really cool. I don't know if you've been over there.
I've been near it.
They should.
But yeah, I couldn't get to it either because they were having a wedding. Actually.
Yeah, they should really have it open to the public. I feel.
Do they not have it open?
No.
Really?
You have to kind of. You have to weasel your way like
Wow.
I did and Cora did. Because Cora was with me. It was a little adventure that we had.
Oh,
But it
wow!
was-
you'll have to tell me about this off air. Wedding crashers.
No, it wasn't a wedding crasher. I mean, there wasn't a wedding there. It was like in the middle of. It was like cold.
But I think I'm
But
going
it
to
was
have
a really cool place.
the biggest like groomsman crew known to man because I've got Trent's going to be my best man. of
I'm
course.
8 feet tall and weigh 500 pounds.
No, he's not. But he's going to be my best man, of course, because I was his best man and we're best friends and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But why I say that is because I've got Gus and Graham have said they would be groomsmen,
Yeah,
and I've
Gus
got
is
Dee
up.
and Chuck. So we got like 5 guys on one side of
We'll
me.
be
and so-
nice, bonny Scotsmen.
it's
We've
gonna
all
be
been eating our
huge.
oatmeal.
It is going to be huge.
Huh?
Will the stage hold us?
I don't know, especially like for 50-pound swords too. You know?
That's it, man.
I want a 50-pound sword, man. I want it draped across my back.
Alrighty.
That's right.
Claymores for Trent.
Yep. Maybe 2 claymores. I'll have double claymores, and I'll lift a bunch of weights. I'll have them both. Like
And
that.
we can have like little Scottish games after the wedding. We can throw hammers and cabers.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Roller hurl.
Yeah. Severe back injury.
That's okay. We'll sue the castle. No. We always thinking either there or possibly in somewhere in Grandfather Mountain. Maybe I don't know. We're talking.
That sounds awful. Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, the thing is this, and you guys give me your opinion on this, and if you guys want to call in 877-SCARE-YOU too, you can give me your opinion too. But the thing is this, I want to know basically if it would be weird to have the wedding in Jamestown, which is where the castle is located, and then make everyone drive like a couple hours to Grandfather Mountain to do the dinner and all that stuff because you've got a party till at least 3 in the morning, and you have to have the dancing and the DJ and all that crazy
Singing.
stuff we're gonna do. But we're gonna do ours a little different. We're gonna have a little horse-drawn carriage, and we're gonna get all medieval. So it's gonna be wild. Yeah. Yeah, Chuck's shaking his head now. He's like,
Chuck,
oh,
I hope you can find some woad that we could put on during the reception. Woad.
Woad.
It's the
the
blue
Braveheart
the blue
paint.
hallucinogenic paint that the Celts used when they fought the Romans it's hallucinogenic.
That's why they were all about battle, man.
Yeah, why do you think they kept on running with their arms chopped off and they kept on fighting because they're
high.
hopped up. I don't even know. I don't even know if the recipe for woad still exists. If you guys know it,
I'll just Google it. I'm sure we'll find something. Chuck's going to be on Googling when we're on.
WODE, I
Ethan,
think.
He'll be like, whoa. He'll spell it wrong, though, like he does everything he looks
Nah,
for.
it's WODE, I think.
It's funny. If you were to watch Chuck, if there were a camera here, you would see, like, every time we're talking about something with a guest, he'll start Googling stuff, and he'll spell it wrong, and then he'll be like, did you mean this? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I did mean that.
You don't rely on word check.
Oh, I totally do. I totally do. Not with as much. I don't rely on it as much. Not as much reliance.
How should I spell it here?
I think it's WOAD. Yeah, he was going to spell it wrong.
Yeah, WODE or
I think it's,
WOAD.
thanks. That might be it. I have no idea. Yeah, woad, or glastum, is the common name of the flowering plant Asatis tinctoria in the family, other words I can't pronounce, commonly called dyer's woad. occasionally known as the asp of Jerusalem, is the name of a blue dye produced from the plant. Woad is pronounced to rhyme with road. Okay, yeah, woad. It's
woad.
native to the woad. Get some woad.
Which you probably would be saying after.
It's throughout Europe. Okay, wow, that's yeah. Maybe you should look up woad recipe.
Prevents cancer.
Prevents cancer. That's good. You get high and you're cancer free.
There might be something else besides that plant. Could be a secret recipe.
Secret recipe.
Possibly. I don't know.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah. No, you mean weird is the ancient Celtic word for fate. W-I-R-D. It was big in Beowulf.
Beowulf.
Yeah.
And Grendel.
Grendel.
So anyway.
So congratulations. I'm sorry.
Well,
After
thank
that
you.
long spiel about who knows what I'm talking about. It's so hot here. I mean, it's really just affecting my brain cells.
It's okay. It has been tremendous. This whole week, man, it's been just...
It's hot everywhere for everyone.
Oh, I know. It's been awful.
So
it has really been awful.
Everybody stay hydrated. And remember, drinking vodka out of the back of your car
is not a good
while
idea.
you're painting a barn is a terrible idea, especially if it's at noon. I don't know this personally.
He's just heard stories.
I've just heard stories about some
But
dumb guy.
I tell you, man, I went to the office. I got there this morning. I was, in my suit, and I was like, man, about lunchtime, I ate lunch, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have to change clothes here, and I did. I put on my shorts and went back to the office. I didn't have anybody coming, so I put on my shorts and went back to the office. Well, anyway, on the other line we have Ethan Dettenmaier. Hang on, we're gonna bring him on in a second. I gotta give him the proper introduction. The only man that I know of that loves the movie Exorcist II: The Heretic more than I do.
Wait a minute, is that the one with George C. Scott?
No, that was 3.
Oh.
That was actually a good one.
Yeah.
2 is the one with what's his name off CNN, the black guy that does the voice.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Thank you. That is the most horrible horror film ever made, and that's why me and Ethan love it so much. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is in the flesh, Ethan Dettenmaier. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Hey, Jay, speaking of Exorcist II: The Heretic, I got your copy of the Spice Girls' Greatest Hits you've been wanting me to burn for you.
Fantastic.
That's great, man. Can you send that out next day?
It'll get to you as soon as I can possibly get it to you.
Awesome,
Bring
man.
it on. Exorcist II and the Spice Girls, baby. Hey, who's on your show tonight? A bunch of interesting people than me?
No, just you.
I'm the guest? Hey, let's get the language thing straight. I mean, what's the protocol as far as language goes? 'Cause I've been trying to watch it, but every once in a while, if we get on a sore topic, I'm liable to throw down.
Yeah, don't do that. We're on a FCC mandate here. We're on FM.
Good.
Which actually we're on an FM station kind of near you. I guess kind of not, but I mean compared to where we're at in North Carolina,
Yeah.
it's near you. It's in the Scottsdale, Arizona area. KWSS.
Oh, I got it. Not too far.
Not too far.
Not
but
really.
Still far away.
Relatively speaking.
But it's on the West Coast side, man. They're hearing you now on the drive time home.
I feel sorry for those. Anyway.
I didn't say they weren't going to change the channel, man. I'm just saying.
I was like, oh, Ethan Dettenmaier. Oh, Spice Girls.
106.6. Yeah.
Well, they're smart enough to know what's up.
Yeah. Like Trent said, oh, it's Ethan Dettenmaier. Oh, well, Spice Girls.
Turn it up.
Yeah. You know that we do have a certain affection for The Exorcist too, don't we?
Oh, yeah. It's a certain affection, all right. So what is this I hear about you picking a fight?
Oh.
What are who's talking there? Is that Trent?
No, that's
No,
me.
no. We sound exactly the same. We might actually be the same person,
Yeah, really, man. Come on. Who? Did somebody just call me out?
Yeah, no, what is this I hear about you picking a fight in Vegas somewhere?
Which? Are you talking about the? Are you talking? Wait.
I'm talking about
Are you talking about that situation on Wynn Road, or are you talking about the fight coming up?
I have no idea. What situation at Wynn Road?
What is that?
Oh, that's nothing. Misunderstanding that I had to straighten out. But are we talking about the charity fight I got
Yes,
coming up?
yes.
That's worth talking about, baby.
A charity fight. Yeah, let's hear about it.
We got 3 mean rounds of boxing coming at you on the 22nd. Well, roughly. I'm supposed to get my weight down for it. It's not really working out.
I understand how that feels.
Let me open this bottle of Crown real quick while I talk to you. But it is for charity. It's going to benefit the Children's Hospital, and I'm going to whip that guy's ass.
So who you
My
fighting?
anger management counselor actually recommended I try something like this, and marshal my frustrations into a ring. So here it goes.
Who are you fighting?
Yeah.
His name is Leon Hanna. I think they call him the Hurricane. I haven't been fighting long enough to have a cool nickname like that. But you know what? I don't know how this is going to go because he's 255 and I'm 285. So I'm not 100% sure how they're going to work that out. I mean, they can't actually fine me like the boxing commission would because it's a charity event, right?
That's true. You could bite him like Mike Tyson.
Yeah. So, I mean, but this is the biggest guy they could find in my weight class. So we'll just knock it around and see what happens. And then hopefully next time we do this, which will be soon, I hope, we'll have it together in terms of, a fight card. Come on out!
I'm just concerned for you fighting anyone with the nickname the Hurricane. I mean, doesn't that bother you a little bit?
Well, you know how these guys do it, man. When they lack firepower, they try and put it in. They try to insert firepower with the name.
Oh, I see.
With me, it's a straightforward Knuckles, baby.
Okay. Knuckles.
Get out here.
You need to fight like this.
Rocky Balboa, Clubber Lang, whatever. For charity, it's going to be great. But I'm glad you brought that up because that is a point I wanted to hit on. You'll find more information on the Sin-Jin Smyth site about it here pretty quick. It's on the 22nd of September.
Okay,
cool.
And it'll be a good time. And you know what, honestly, the best thing about it, like a lot of things we do, is it benefits charity, in this case, the Children's Hospital, and that is really kind of the key point. I mean, I'll take a beating for the kids any day.
Now, is this
provided
event...
my helmet's on properly and my mouthpiece is in.
Is this event going to be on television?
No, it's going to be YouTubed.
Okay.
Television.
Oh, we've got to get the YouTube.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Oh, it's coming your way, bro. It's coming your way.
Yeah.
I have very little to be proud of or brag about these days, but that YouTube clip is going to be something, I promise you.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so it's cool. I mean, it should be fun. I mean, we don't have the kind of credibility where we get this thing, televised. In fact, last night I was watching the Klitschko fight, and that told me why right there, because those guys are the real technical experts, and this is basically a monkey show in a boxing ring. But it's going to be good nonetheless, brother.
It sounds like it.
It sounds like
coming out for it.
Oh man, I wish I could. I'm so tied down here with the whole opening the law firm thing.
Oh, here we go.
It's been
This
awful.
is where Jay goes on his diatribe about, man, my overhead being a lawyer is killing me.
All my servants and
this is where we have to hear, geez, my office, Ethan, you don't know. Me being a rock star at night,
it's
and
terrible.
my office during the day as a lawyer, it's deadly. I just paid $72,000 for my 10-acre ranch. I got it tough out here. Ethan, you don't know.
Real estate here is a little less expensive than what you're dealing with.
Yeah, this is, I don't really hear all of that part of the conversation because that's usually where I just put the telephone down and give him a couple of minutes. And then I get back on, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how this practice. But I'll say this, man. I know from firsthand experience, Jay Scott is one hell of an attorney. Are we allowed to talk about your law practice on the air?
Sure, go ahead.
I mean, we're not bending any rules.
No, not that I know of.
I've seen some of your legal work, my friend, and it's quite impressive. I mean, I was impressive. I mean, everyone in our camp, and we're lawyer happy out here in L.A.
I bet.
We were like, look at this guy, man. This guy's the next Johnny Cochran.
All right, that's what I want to hear.
Ethan, you could probably kill someone, and this guy could get you off.
Scot-free.
That's right.
So when you want to choke someone out, Ethan, you can do it now. Look at this guy.
So all you guys thinking about that?
No, I my drummer Jeff Wilhelm actually went out to L.A. he had some job stuff he had to do, and Ethan was kind of.
What he called it?
Yeah, that's what he.
Why was he dropped off? When he was dropped off, why did he get out of the back of a police car? I never really understood that. He didn't want to explain it.
Yeah, just a few technical things.
Oh, I gotcha.
He supports the LAPD.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, but no,
he was out here.
Ethan showed him a real good time, and I want to thank you once again on air for that, man, because it was really bought him dinner and really gave him a good time out there.
He was a class act. Actually, we couldn't do as much as we'd liked. It was a school night. But the guy's a class act, man, and next time he comes to town, along with yourself, we'll do some serious damage. Speaking of which, aren't I supposed to meet you in Vegas at some point? I mean, that's been talked about.
It has, but we actually, I would just announce it tonight, we've actually got a date set in May for the wedding, and we're going to do it Scottish style, traditional, so we're going to actually probably have it at a castle out here or something.
A castle?
Yeah, they've got a little castle.
Like in North Carolina?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a castle here.
There's a castle here.
What? What is it, double as like a restaurant during the week?
No. It's a real castle.
Not the castle that you hit the golf ball through when you're playing miniature golf.
Oh, no.
It's a real castle for sure.
Yeah.
Who built it? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'd actually have to. It's called Castle McCulloch.
Castle McCulloch. It's some really wealthy, actually Scottish dude back in the 19th century, and he was from Scotland, and he said, I want my castle from Scotland over here, and that's what he did, and he brought it over.
Now this the theme, Jay. The theme that comes from your heritage.
Oh yeah.
You're Scottish?
I'm part Scottish.
Yeah. Man, knowing you gets worse every day, doesn't it? Man, I feel for you. No, all joking aside. So that's it. Basically, what you're telling me, and I had to be on your radio show to hear it, is that my plans to meet you in Vegas have just got scrapped because, just so Trent and the fellas know, we may not be allowed to discuss it, but since we just got the boot, we're going to be honest about it. We were in a holding pattern, that there was something going down in the form of what may be, conceived as a marriage going down in Vegas, and it was, hey, Ethan, get all your rock star buddies and just wait till I give you a date. Get them all ready.
Yeah.
And it was like,
we just decided we were gonna spend some money and do it.
I'm
do
pumped,
it here,
man.
But you are invited. You and your wife are definitely invited.
Hold on a second. Let me get Axel on the other line and tell him that you just canceled his plans to go to Vegas.
But
it's a Scottish thing, and we all got to wear skirts.
Axel will be down with that.
We don't?
Yeah. We're all wearing kilts, actually.
Yeah, for sure we are.
Oh yeah.
Underwear is optional.
Bag. Underwear is optional.
That's cool, though. Is there a date for this, actually, or is this just talk at this point?
It's going to be in May. We're just trying to see. May 10th was what we want, but we're trying to see, if the castle's available for that day. And we may not do it at the castle. We may do it in the mountains. We're just kind of going back and forth right now.
Nice.
But yeah,
sounds like you're doing it as far from the castle to the mountains, as far away from me as possible.
Oh no!
The mountains are slightly closer.
Somebody got on the phone to your wife or your fiance and said, "Hey, Jay was talking to Ethan about calling every rock star he knew about crashing some wedding of yours in Vegas."
Well, I have heard that you do quite a wedding crash spectacular.
Something about everyone's going to Girls with Motley Crue, and then at some point your groom's going to show up ready to marry you.
What's this thing I hear about minks? Yes.
Minks. I'll tell you, that's a show with real promise. If you guys that show's format has changed significantly, and now it's kind of it's done kind of Curb Your Enthusiasm, off the cuff style. It's basically formatted and inspired by that show, The Office, but it takes place at Minks.
And a strip club.
That's the show you're going to have a lot to look forward to. We were watching that Tuesday, actually, and we can't believe we're responsible for this mayhem. It's one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time.
For those people,
environment in itself is crazy.
Well, for those people that don't know what you're talking about here, this is a reality-based television show that you're maybe for people that have just now hearing about you on our show that didn't catch the last interviews we did with you. This is a reality.
I think that everyone knows my business. I'm sorry, I should have taken it from the top. Yeah, it is a reality. It's shot like a reality show. It is not, in fact, reality, and it all takes place in a strip club. The same strip club, in fact, that was recently shot up after NBA weekend by Pac-Man Jones and crew.
Oh wow!
Oh no!
Oh wow! Well, that's great.
Was just recently indicted on charges related to that in Vegas for this.
Give him my card. No, I'm not licensed in California.
Card ready. He immediately hired Ray Lewis's former attorney, and we know how good that guy is.
So what's new? I hate to change gears so quick, but what's new with Sin-Jin Smyth? Do we have a release date yet?
God, you know what, man? In the pre-interview, we talked about this. No, we don't have it. We have actually an idea of when they're going to window it. But I'll get to the cool part in a minute. We're hammering that out. In fact, I was hoping to read you a couple of emails that have recently come from one of the main.
You can do that. Well, what I wanted to know, though, was we've got about a minute here. We'll put this on hold and we'll come back to it. But I was hoping that we could get this out by Halloween this year, man. It would be, an awesome movie for October.
Well, I am planning, actually. Do I really only have a minute here? Am I going to get cut off?
Actually, you got 30 seconds.
Well, just go to hell until after the break.
But yeah, we're going to talk about that. We'll leave them on a cliffhanger before our break. As soon as we get back tonight, we're with Ethan Dettenmaier, the writer and director of Sin-Jin Smyth.
Get to your phones.
Get to your phones, 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-YOU2. Toll free in the United States and Canada. And locally, 336-996-1596. You're listening to World of the Unexplained. We'll be right back with Ethan Dettenmaier after this.
Welcome, 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 World of the Unexplained. Tonight we got the illustrious Ethan Dettenmaier. Come on, guys, give us a call, 1-877-722-7382 or 1-877-SCARE-YOU2. The local number is 336-996-1596. Ethan, you have some very interesting news concerning our neck of the woods. Take it away.
God, man, way to platform it. I just thought we were going to casually talk some things out.
Thanks, Trent.
Take it away. Come on, Family Feud, you know.
Oh, yeah. That was my game show voice, but, you know.
That was a good intro, by the way.
Thank you, Ethan.
I felt very important. Before we cut...
You are very important.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Before we split, I mean, we were running short on time, but we were talking distribution. One of the things that we are trying to arrange... It's got to be contracted out still, but we are going to do an advanced screening of the film. Advanced meaning prior to its general release in Winston-Salem, hopefully for Halloween, where we'll be there with some of the cast and members of the illustrious rock group Black Book Romance. Ever hear of them?
Yeah, I think maybe once or twice.
I hear they walk around looking like you too.
Yeah, I hear their singer sucks. Not
Terrible haircut.
That's funny. God, a lot of people keep telling me that.
Yeah, gosh, especially the drummer. Oh man, that's amazing. So have you decided
really cool.
which theater you're going to put this on at?
We don't know yet. We don't even know the area. We wanted to do it based on you guys and your support from the area, and kind of as a thing, we wanted to do it in three cities. We wanted to actually premiere it with cast members and go to places where we've gotten some support, where people were pretty genuine about what we were doing, and understanding that it's an independent film. It is the Rebel Alliance trying to make a movie against the evil machine. And some people that have supported us over the long haul, which would be your show, World of the Unexplained, Black Book Romance, the band, and all its online support. You know, we wanted to go out there and mix it up. And, you know, I mean, it's tough to know, it's tough to judge, I guess, at this stage what, demand or reaction would be. But it would be fun to go out there with the people that have supported us. And I don't give a damn, really, what people think about it. I mean, a lot of times they try and do this kind of thing in major markets, Chicago or New York. But I think this, having gone such a long production road, going from the very beginning, I think it'd be kind of cool to go to places like Winston where, there was some support from the very beginning for our efforts and what we were doing. So we're going to go party it down. Whoever shows up, but we'll do as much damage as we can in 24 hours.
Well, I'll tell you. Right. I'll tell you how crazy it's got here. We did when we did. We advertised that we were shooting part of our video at one of the local clubs we play in here. It's a pretty big venue. It's a pretty big venue, overall for a lot of national acts come through it. And Alice in Chains was coming out one night, and we littered everybody with these flyers saying, be in the video if you want to be in the video for this movie. And we gave the link for your website for the movie, which, by the way, is www.sin-jinsmyth.com. And we just promoted it to death, and we had almost 1,000 people show up for that thing. And it was crazy. Yeah,
that's hardcore.
So that, and then the Spooky Woods thing that we did, and this is funny, I'm going to YouTube it right now. I'm getting on the internet. I think... and this is really bad because I'm telling this. If you go to YouTube, someone got a copy of our video before we released it, and we did not do this on purpose. We didn't want anybody to have it because the mix isn't there yet. It's not even been mastered yet. But they have our Black Book Romance video up on YouTube. Somebody took it. I don't know who did, but they actually put it up on YouTube. And I'm looking for it now, and I can't find it. But
who would have done such a thing?
I didn't do it, and I think I know who did it. But
well, let's drag that guy out here.
No, I think it's one of the people that works at Spooky Woods. When I mailed it to the, because they're like, oh yeah, can we put this up on our site? And I'm like, no, not yet. And then all of a sudden, it shows up on, YouTube. So.
Well, hey, man, all press is good press. Even when they tell you suck, they're still talking about you.
That's true.
Yep, there it is. Okay, not Spooky Woods. I'm sorry. I'm going to get shot. Woods of Terror.
Yeah, whoa, the major competitor across town.
Yeah, and they really are, actually.
yeah, actually, it's true.
So, my apologies to to Ed over at Woods of Terror because
embarrassed.
he was such a nice guy and really helped us out. But yeah, that's up. If you type in Black Book Romance, 2 words, Black Book 1 word, Romance the second one, it'll pop it up. It'll say Open Up at the Woods of Terror, and it's a 4-minute and 38-second video. And this is, like I said, it's not a final cut, but it's in post right now, and it's kind of crazy. We haven't told anybody about it until now. So
we're going to be able to see that. That sounds like some real magic.
It is. So it's youtube.com, YOUTUBE, for those of you that don't know. and just type in the search box Black Book Romance, and it'll pop up. It's the only thing that does pop up. So
we are actually talking. We licensed out the right to have the sets of Sin-Jin Smyth and the movie itself trail into a haunted attraction.
Really?
Yeah, it would be nice to bring some of that with us for Halloween when we were out there and really make a show of it.
Well, I tell you, I know that I think you might have talked to Ed, the owner of the Woods of Terror, and last year he had what's the guy's name from the Friday the 13th? The guy that played Jason one year. He had him out there signing autographs. No. Although
Kevin Bacon was in it.
This reminds me of something kind of funny. You know how they do the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever it is. You know the little kid.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, based on the whole 6 degrees of separation concept, I just found out the other day that a guy, my landlord, that rents my office building out to me, is actually like 1 degree away from the edge from U2.
How's that? That's interesting.
Yeah, his friend in another advertising company that works with in New York actually has breakfast with the Edge from time to time.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Edge has got to know somebody, right?
Exactly.
A lot of people are amazed by that kind of thing, but the guy's got to have friends someplace.
Well, I know for you and the big LA crowd, it's no big deal because you see. You probably see movie stars every. Well, you work with movie stars every day. You see them out on the street,
trip and fall over them, really.
With us old country boys from North Carolina, man. That's something that's huge.
It's big. It's big all around, especially if you're on that level. Everyone has, whether you're a fan or not, you've got to respect what the Edge has accomplished.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, we have, sure enough, we've got our crowd out here in LA, and makes, maybe makes some of that not as important as it would be out in the middle of nowhere, but it's still, that's a big thing. I would be impressed to meet that guy. We've only been listening to his music, almost 30 years now?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is. It really is.
What,
the longevity.
79 was the Boy album? Or?
Yeah, I think it was 79 or early
80.
Or
yeah.
80.
They've been around forever.
And in this day and age, you, being in a band, can appreciate the staying power that they have had to demonstrate. Because a lot of people that started with them are dead.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Now, what can you tell us about any of the upcoming stuff you're working on now?
Yeah, do you really want to talk about that now, or should we move that into the final hour?
Okay, we'll move that into the final hour.
Do you really
Why
want to
not?
get into it? You want to hear more me talking about me?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you guys think of me?
Well, obviously we like you pretty good. Otherwise, we wouldn't have you on the show so much.
There you go. I'll send the check with the Spice Girls CD.
All right, thank you.
Getting back to that thing, why it was kind of cool to talk about the Edge was that was a guy that, there you brought a guy that, a lot of people probably respect somewhat into the conversation. That was pretty cool, and that's not a bad thing. The Edge has got to know somebody. He's got to have breakfast with somebody, right?
That's right.
He's got a cool name like
buddy's
The Edge.
Second cousin's girlfriend's brother.
Exactly. Well, that just puts me 3 degrees away.
And I guess it puts the rest of us like 4 degrees.
Yeah.
What do you say when you were 1 degree away from Sin-Jin Smyth? F you. Those troublemakers, they can't even cut their ending to release the movie.
Oh, wow. You said it, I didn't.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I don't want to get into that. Well, I can get into that, but I don't know how comfortable you are talking about it.
No, it's a simple situation. Of a lot of problems that will inundate an independent filmmaker, and by independent, I don't mean I've got a few $1 million that I can spend freely. I mean independent meaning you got to find independent money,
Gotcha.
get a script, start from scratch. Basically, you're standing in an empty field, and you've got to somehow make magic there. Of a lot of problems that will inundate independent filmmakers, the latest one, and most people know is it's a firefight, was actually finishing some of the major action elements and trying to actually put the movie in with the ending put the movie in theaters with the ending it was intended to have, rather than cut it into some politically correct nonsense. It's a hard-hitting film, and the mishap here, and we just had this discussion today actually, was one of the problems here is if you've got any kind of loyalty to the audience, where in this case I was able to make a living writing for other people anyway. It wasn't really about the money, but if you've got any kind of loyalty to what you're putting your name on, and if you've got any kind of loyalty to the audience, you're gonna cause problems for yourself, because it's not necessarily about the audience to the theater, to the executive side of things, and to like the studio side of things. It's about dollars and cents, and granted, you need an audience to generate that, but realistically, they like to plug in their recipes and their marketing formulas, and we've talked about this in the past on this show about certain elements that they will try to install, and they'll do their screenings, and audience A likes this, audience B likes that, and you need to cut this, and we need something right in the middle so everyone likes it just enough to spend money on it. But it's been a long road. I just saw over the weekend, actually, it was sent to me, is the first draft of what is the companion piece to the film. It's the book behind the scenes.
Okay.
I mean, it goes back to ground one. It goes back to a shop in the movie and people making offers but wanting to change it and suggesting people like the kid from Dawson's Creek to star in it. I mean, it goes back. And what's interesting, though, is I haven't forgotten a lot of it. Maybe I've blocked some of it out, but I look back, and, man, it has been a long road. You look back to the initial, situation where we went to David Bowie to be Sin-Jin Smyth and lucked out, total luck, by getting the right guy through Jonathan Davis, after Bowie's agent, ruptured the deal. And, you look back at some of the things people have survived. Piper battled cancer, very heroic. Other situations we had our own. Me especially, I'm totally guilty of this, because the audience is, the audience's reaction to the film is at stake. I will take it up a notch or two notches, and I will try to widen the, the gap on any kind of element that I think puts more of a movie up on screen for people to see, like action elements or flamethrower. There's elements there. There's elements there, like there's a stunt where there's a flamethrower unit that, guys catch on fire, and I'm certainly going to try and do the most and crank it up a few notches for the audience. And a lot of times, you don't have that kind of liberty to do all that under the studio system. It's, stick to your budget. I don't care if you want to light 6 guys on fire instead of 2. Your budget's for 2, and that's what the audience is going to see, And I got ourselves into overextended financially because I wanted to make the best movie possible. That in itself was a problem. We had issues with other things, and, I could get into all of it. I'd rather not bore your audience with all the dramatic elements, but, I mean, we now got to the latest thing, to make a long story short, is, will we make the cuts to put the movie in the theater the way the studio wants, or will it see an audience the way we want? And it'll happen the way we want. It's a longer road. It's these kind of things people can't really appreciate unless you're in the bullpen. Unless you're trying to secure downtown Fallujah, you don't know what Fallujah is like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's one of those things where it can be 12-hour days worth of distribution meetings for weeks, and you can come out of there even further away from a deal than when you started. And that's just the animal, and it's tough. And it's tough because I feel a certain level. I'm not a one-note person. This movie, my life does not revolve around this film. I'm not, I want the best film possible for the audience and the people like yourself who supported it, but I'm not about this. I've got other things I can do in the meantime. If this movie doesn't come out on schedule, I'll go work on this until this movie comes out right. Because one thing I'm not going to do is kick this in the theaters with some, I was going to say a good swear word there, but and since I stopped myself, I've kind of interrupted my rhythm. But one thing I won't do, to make a long story a little less long, is kick this movie into the theaters with a subpar ending for everyone to spend money on, because I hate going to spend money. It's like $12.50 at my theater now to see a movie, and I can't ask anyone to spend $12.50 for me unless I give them my best. So until this thing goes in the best way we feel it should be, the best way we know how to make it, I'm going to go do something else. This will work itself out at some point, but one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to bend, because I don't need their paycheck. I don't need their bad diplomacy. Crap, I don't even need them.
So you're not going to sell out no matter what?
No, I don't have to, man. I mean, selling out, I leave that for, there's other individuals. There's a long list of people that'll do that. But here, we don't have to do it. There's other things I can work on. There's other movies in the works. We got a World War II movie going into production at the end of the year. Another World War II movie going into production at the end of next year.
Wow.
There's plenty of production work for me. Plenty of things. A TV show for Spike, another one following that. That would be the Mink Show.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've got my hands full. So, the way it is a lot of people don't understand this, is I don't get up and make the phone calls strictly on behalf of Sin-Jin Smyth. I'm totally confident. If you've seen the reviews online, I'm totally confident that we're making the right decisions and we've got a great movie. And it is, hey, we're going to put the right movie out. Period.
Now the TV show you've got going on for Spike, is that what I did some legal work for that we can't talk about right now?
We can talk about it. You want to talk about that?
Oh, we can. I didn't know if everything had been signed, sealed.
Is that code for Ethan? Cut this part of the conversation short.
No. I didn't know if it was still a confidential thing that you were trying to assemble and didn't want to talk about it just yet.
No, we're in good shape with that. I mean, yeah,
We don't have to talk about it yet. We can talk about it in another show.
There is so much confidentiality in Hollywood that it's kind of like Washington in a way, you know? We'll meet with you behind closed door without a stenographer and without being under oath. We won't talk about fired, federal attorneys unless we can talk about it in private and no one will ever know what we really did.
Exactly.
It's the same town practically.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything's everything's in confidence. No one knows really what's going on, and I heard this thing, but I'm not sure about this other thing. And it's actually a major contributor to the rumor mill, because now I hear stuff. I got a phone call from Jonathan Davis's management last week, and he goes, "Hey, Jonathan's in England, and he got interviewed by an English journalist who said that he wanted to pull his scenes out of the movie because Jenna Jameson's in it." And we were like, how do you respond to that? We got that phone call over breakfast, and we're like, what? Why would somebody ask that? That is the most retarded thing it's like we were really scratching our heads. Like, do they really want to bother him that much with stories that they're just going to? Did somebody just assemble that in the car on the way to the interview?
It might have been.
Okay, let's take Jonathan Davis, Jenna Jameson. Okay, add the verb. What are we doing here? Yeah. Let's ask a question. Can we talk
on the clock again?
Can we talk? We're almost to the top of the hour. We got about 8 more minutes.
Yeah, we got a little
time. But before the hard break. But can we talk about distribution deals that you're working with, or is that still?
I've got 4 that it's been narrowed down to.
Okay.
They all include a release pattern from anywhere from 800 to 1,500 theaters.
Now, explain to our listeners exactly what that means. Depending on
that's the number of theaters they're gonna open your movie in.
Well, compare it to a big blockbuster like Batman Begins versus like a smaller film.
Much bigger. Probably that movie opened in like 3,500 theaters.
Okay.
So we're talking about 1,500 theaters, a little less than half of that.
That's still a big run.
That's pretty sizable, though.
Well, they plan to pyramid it out from there. They want to they want to add theaters as the movie does well. They're predicting it's going to do well. Everyone likes it. You don't have to research too much online to kind of see what people are saying about it. It's pretty positive.
Let me ask you a hard question, Ethan. This is a tough question. I've never asked you this, I don't think, but it's a proper question. I think at this point in the ball game, you've got a lot of internet hype behind this movie.
Yeah.
So did Snakes on a Plane. No, yeah, and tons of internet hype. The news media went wild.
Now, I had never saw that movie. How did it hold up?
I haven't either. It didn't hold up at all. It bombed. Did it bomb at the box office?
So, what are you trying to do, Jay? Draw some kind of spooky-ass parallel?
No. What I'm asking is, you see all the internet publicity that got, and that's why I was going to ask you. I didn't know if you're familiar with it or not, but if you were, I was going to say, does something like that scare you? You see all the support you're getting, and you're wondering if it's going to hang. You know what I'm saying? If you're wondering if it's going to stay the course, or
honestly, the truth is the frame of mind is the same. It's like, how do we make the best possible movie we can, regardless of what people are saying, whether they're saying it sucks or it's great. It's like we get up the same day every day saying, what can we do here to get this film, to finish it through post, get the sound design in place, and make the best possible movie we can. So I don't really sit there and think, oh God, I got to live up to all this hype. Or all I can say is, hey, you got the best I can do, sincerely, my best effort, and that's that. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. And if you do like it, well, thank you. There's nothing I can. GA, you're an artist. You're in a rock band. You cut an album, you hope, you just do the best you can with it. People either love it and they don't. It's like, hey man, Hitler had his followers, and Jesus had his haters. The world's a crazy place, so it doesn't matter what anyone's saying, because the same people that are going to love you are going to hate you a week later anyway.
Yeah, I got to have that for a soundbite.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean,
though.
I have to ask you the hard question sometime because it does make you wonder, and I know exactly what you're talking about. You put something together and you pour your heart and your soul into it, and then you sit back and you're like, You know what I mean? You watch.
When I'm asked, that's a good question. That's a great question. That's probably one of the better questions you put to me. But I'll answer it like this: when I go out to dinner with friends, and they say, "Hey, how's the movie coming?" I answer it the same way. I said, I really like it. I think it's really good. And they'll usually respond like, well, everyone seems to like it online. It looks like it's going to do well. And that's great, but somewhat irrelevant. It's like I just answer for me. I say, hey, personally, I would not have a problem walking out of a theater having paid for the movie. I really like it. And part of the reason why it's having a slow time is because we're not willing to just stitch together any movie and put it out there.
No, but that says something.
Money. What's that?
That says something. I mean, that's good.
To stand your ground and hold your guns,
We needed extra money at one point to give you the best movie possible. We went out, we got it. We needed to maintain the movie intact without cutting the ending to give you we did that. I mean, we've created a lot of hurdles where other people would have said, deal, forget the money, let's just stitch it together however they want it,
compromise.
Put it out. And we just didn't do that.
Well, I think that's why we've got so many crap horror movies out there today, man. I think that's what's happened.
And there are many
of
them.
Like, hey, hire Paris Hilton. They'll forget all about how bad it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
I mean, did you see that? I have to admit to this, Ethan. You being a heretic fan, you'll appreciate this.
Bring it on, man. You know I love The Heretic.
I actually, we've got HBO on demand, and so I actually, one night, I was up, and I was like, you know what, I want to see it because it was there and it was free. So I watched the Waxwork thing with Paris Hilton. And
House of Wax?
That's it, House of Wax. Yeah, it's supposed to be, what is it?
Jay, what are you talking about? You asked me to get you a copy from Warner Bros. Of that movie for 6 months.
Shh, be quiet, Ethan. No.
And I finally sent it to you, and then you would never send it back, no matter how much I asked for.
Yeah, I've seen he's got the poster up on his room.
That's
and several other places. And he has a T-shirt and
all over the house.
Every time I talk to Jay, and your audience should know, I get this at one point. He calls me and goes, "Hey, did you ever get that autograph thing for Paris Hilton of the House of Wax doll?" I'm like, Jay, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
But I actually did watch the film, and it was really bad.
Oh, terrible.
And I was just, it just made me go, oh man, there's another one. They staple a name on it.
Yeah.
And they rush to get it out as fast as they possibly can, make a little bit of dough, and then they're off to their next project. And I think that's what's happening in the music industry too.
It's like six clowns on a fire truck.
Yeah, they get a band together, they throw a hit, they pump it, and it don't matter if the song's good. They make everyone listen to it and shove it down everybody's throats.
And eventually people are going to like it.
And then they buy it, and then the band's gone. You never hear from them.
But if the record industry wasn't like that, then Nickelback wouldn't be able to make a living.
I like Nickelback.
I know you do, sucker.
Wow.
But the truth being told, though, man, honestly, let's leave Nickelback out of this. And your fans hopefully will know that I don't want them to think, well, if this guy thinks the Heretic is good, the Heretic
and he hates Nickelback, what in the...
What kind of taste does he have? He's a poser.
That is the recipe. It's like, let's get the movie done in a certain matter of days with a certain number of money, and let's promote the hell out of it to the kids, and the MTV generation will buy a ticket. And it's not about making an impact on anyone. When we were kids, man, and Jay, you and I are about the same age, but look back to some of the movies and how, like Alien or Platoon or films like that.
Great films.
Fright Night.
Oh yeah,
Fright Night was a classic.
Yeah, I mean, there's a million films. We could talk about it all night. About great movies that to this day you could watch for probably the 100th time and still totally get into it. And it's just like that part of that aspect, that mentality about building out a script into a movie is just completely lost. It's like, hey, let's get the elements that people like. Paris Hilton, she's, doing her jail thing or not doing her jail thing, and let's get a couple names that people like, and we got yourself a movie.
All right, Ethan, I hate to cut you off, but we got to run to our next break. Guys, call in 877-SCARE-YOU2. You're listening to World the Unexplained tonight with Ethan Dettenmaier. Give us a call. Call in. We'll be right back after this.
Every Halloween at midnight, the devil simultaneously appears in two places. The high plains of India, in a quiet cemetery in Kansas. It's November 2nd, the Day of the Dead, Two federal marshals report to the small town of Shinbone, Kansas, moments after a tornado warning, to transport a prisoner with no past, no identity. He is known only as Sin-Jin Smyth. Starring Roddy Piper, Richard Tyson, Jonathan Davis, Kevin Gage, Gary Casper, John Philbin, Billy Duffy, Charles Cyphers, and Eileen Dietz. Check out the movie that critics are calling one of 2007's most anticipated horror films by visiting www.sinjinsmyth.com. That's www.sin-jinsmyth.com. Sin-Jin Smyth is a Snapkick Productions film, written and directed by Ethan Dettenmaier. Coming soon to a theater near you.
Go for it.
No, I'm kidding.
All right, we're back with Ethan Dettenmaier, World of the Unexplained. Ethan Knuckles Dettenmaier. Yeah. Who's fighting the hurricane.
Ethan
right.
Flash Can
Sunday.
Exactly. And it's happening in the parking lot of Guitar Center.
Oh, wow.
Fender amps. Marshall Stacks.
50% off. You won't believe the discounts.
Crazy.
The first 200 people in the door. It's like that Simpsons, where it's like Truckosaurus. You better be dead or in jail.
You may laugh, but we actually have those ads here.
Yeah.
We really do.
Oh, yeah.
We really do.
Guitar Centers?
No, well, we've got
Just
those. But
really
no,
bad,
the ads, the
cheesy
monster
ads.
truck ads
Yeah.
like that. And they're like, Sunday.
We got it here, too. Come on,
my
we're not in the backwoods. We got it.
I figured you guys had elevated
Yeah, that
beyond
maybe
that.
it was a higher quality standard
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Joan
advertising.
Collins does the voice for the monster truck ads in California. We got the same stuff, man.
Southern California.
Oh, he's in Southern California. Okay. Oh, in your neck of the woods. Well, okay. Well, I wanted you to tell this story about a famous rock star here. I'll set the backstory up for you, Ethan. Basically, I had my college alma mater, Guilford. Basically, there was a kid there that was writing for the school newspaper, and I used to do that when I was in college there. And so I hooked him up with this story for to cover Sin-Jin Smyth. He's all excited about it. Well, him and Ethan get to talking, and Ethan gives him a job as an intern out there this summer. And they go out to lunch one day, and Ethan, I'll let you take it from there.
Well, first of all, he's the only intern we haven't fired yet.
Oh, wow.
So he's got staying power, this kid. He actually admitted he was a little nervous when he heard that they call me Staff Sergeant Barnes behind my back, which I know all about, by the way. If they're thinking I don't know that, I'm called that when I leave a room, I know all about it.
And now it's on the air.
Nervous, but he came out here, and he's a good kid. Well, we took him to lunch one day, and there's a celebrity rock and roll element there. And, basically the poor kid didn't know, being 20, which I guess is somewhat forgivable, he had no idea who this guy was. And I said, that's Keith Richards. I'm kidding. It was Billy Idol.
Billy Idol. How do you not know who Billy Idol is?
But, kids today, man, they're different.
Yeah, I guess so.
We've dealt with a lot of rock and roll personalities. We were talking during the break about it. It's all in the book. It's all in the companion book about the different rock and roll personalities who at one point or another were going to put an element into this film. And it ranges from Bowie to Sting to Maynard from Tool. There was a lot of meetings at a lot of different places, both just for the film itself and to be involved in the film production in front of the camera, and also for music. And it's been interesting. There's a lot of rock and roll elements. But like we were saying in the break, too, and I think part of what stumped this kid, and he's a good kid, he's very smart, but is that, a lot of people expect, to hear opera music when one of these guys walk. Like, the mood in the room is just suddenly going to change. But you don't really get that. A lot of these people are on the level. They come in, you don't know who they are, until they, throw on their leathers and start singing White Wedding.
White Wedding.
The mythology of the rock star, really.
Yeah.
But and that's another thing I was going to bring up about kids, and actually it ties in with the earlier conversation about horror movies and how they they're run by bureaucracy, and it's like 6 clowns on a fire truck, which I don't know what that means, but
it means the fire ain't getting put out, brother. That's what it means.
But I went and saw 1408. All right, and I thought it was
say that again. I can't hear you.
I went and saw 1408, that new horror movie with John Cusack about the hotel.
Okay, yeah, 1408.
Well, anyway, I thought it was a very good film, and it was not like a standard horror film. It really just kind of messed with your head, and I thought it was very good. I think if Scott watches it, he'll probably agree with me. But anyway, all of the young kids that I've talked to or I've heard have seen the movie, and when they're asked like what'd you think of it, they all said, "Whoa, man, it stunk." Like none of them like it. And I don't know if that's a age thing or
It's tough to say. Good movies. I tend to think transcend age a little bit. I mean, I don't know why people would. I haven't seen 1408 to know. I mean, I saw a movie this weekend that I thought kicked ass, and that was Ratatouille. And I mean, it's funny because it's just I took my 4-year-old because I figured it was for her, but I came out of there going, that movie was excellent.
Well, good.
I'm like, that's one of the best movies I've probably seen all year, And I encourage everyone to check it out, even though it's about a rat who cooks in Paris. Okay, it makes absolutely no sense. The funny thing about it is a music company, I should give them props, a music licensing company and management company that I work with that I have a lot of respect for called The Pig Factory. They dropped me a line today, actually. And we're talking about a meeting we got on the books this week, and at one point the guy stops me and goes, "Oh, Ethan, by the way, something you got to check out. Ratatouille." And I said, "Great." I was like, "I'm not crazy. You like it too."
It is a good movie.
Because here's a big shot music executive, and I just thought it was nice to hear it. I said, I took my 4-year-old to see it, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be liking it as much as I did. And he goes, "No, great movie."
Well, Chuck wants to know what you thought of the film Sideways.
Oh, I thought that was terrible.
So did I. Yeah. Chuck's all appalled now.
Oh man, that's one of the worst.
It was awful, man. It was like The Heretic 2 again.
I haven't seen it, and I don't think I'd want to really.
You don't want to.
Just the premise of it is kind of.
It's dumb.
Not interesting.
Well, you know what? Though those kind of road trip premises can work if the comedy and the humor's on. But those two guys were very, I thought, unlikable in the movie.
Not only that, it was very.
The gags were just assembled on the spot.
It was like there was no chemistry. That was very stiff,
Yeah. And they didn't capture any of the magic of the Napa area, so there's no exciting geography to get into. It's just kind of like, here's two guys. One guy's a loser, and he's going to buy a barely legal magazine and go back to his hotel room. The other guy's got no taste in women.
So they're both going to hook up with these two girls they meet at this restaurant. Yeah, they're going to go hook up with these two random girls and go back to their place. I mean, that's the movie.
In our day, meaning just a few years ago, that would have never flown for a movie.
Oh, heck no.
That would have never been a script. That would have been part of a story that characters do in a bigger movie with bigger things happening. I look at that and be like, what? This is... Somebody wrote a movie basically about their weekend, and they think that... And then for that movie to get the kind of... credit it was getting...
Okay, 877.
Understand it.
877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-U2. The call is toll-free. I know you're out there listening. Call us out there in Arizona, guys. It's toll-free, 877-SCARE-U2, or anywhere else in the United States. Omaha, shout at me. Come on, guys. Give us a call here. We'll talk about anything.
Hey, wait a minute. While we're on the subject, let's talk about movies we like and movies we hate. Who wants to go first? Give me one good one and one bad one.
Okay, let me
start us off.
All right, go ahead, Trent.
Oh shoot, just like
and
that.
Recently, let's do something new.
Ooh, okay, that's tough.
Recent. Well,
because if we go back to the old ones, we're all going to start saying the same thing.
No, believe it or not, and actually, this is totally off base, but I really like Casino Royale, the new Bond film.
That's recent, yeah.
That
was good.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that film a lot. And then a movie that I thought was horrible that I just, basically, well, there's several of those, but I didn't like Knocked Up.
I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't see it, and I saw it, and it was terrible and wasn't funny, and there's just so many ways I didn't like it.
All right, Trent, too much explanation there. Okay, we're not on the Ebert Roper show. Okay, new guy, your turn.
Chuck?
Oh, he's on.
We've got a caller. He's taking
go
a
ahead,
call. Chuck, go ahead.
Actually, Trent kind of stole mine, but how about Borat? Actually, I love that.
Borat was good.
Sacha Baron Cohen. I love the show on HBO.
Yeah, Borat was good. I thought.
And a bad movie, Chuck.
Bad movie.
Give us a bad movie.
Yumi and Dupree.
I thought it was funny in a way. I thought it was kind of funny in a way.
What
Ethan, you with us?
You know what? There's a lot of people talking. I heard Chuck's movies.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either one of them though.
Okay.
All right.
See, we're gonna have to go back to
what,
old movies. This isn't working.
Okay, let's do all right. Chuck, let's take any movie now.
Well, hey, hang on. We got a caller.
we
got Chris from Atlanta, Georgia, on the line.
Hot Atlanta.
Chris, how you doing?
Doing all right. How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Staying cool, man. Staying cool.
Hey, Ethan, what's up?
How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Actually, I was sitting down tonight, logging into the computer, getting ready to listen to the show, and I keep remembering this one commercial that keeps coming on for your movie, and the most anticipated horror movie of 2007. I'm sitting there going, I wonder if we got any info on that. Lo and behold, here you are tonight.
Here I am.
Now, of course,
have you been following the show from the beginning?
I'm sorry?
Have you been following the show from the beginning? I mean, did you hear some of the dialogue about that?
Not from the beginning, but I have been listening pretty frequently lately.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you heard tonight's episode from the beginning.
No, I didn't. I came in at about 8:45.
So what was the? Tell us what was happening at 8:45 your time. What were we discussing? We did get into this. We did get into some of the show. And actually, I wasn't the one who said, I would never talk this way about anything I do anyway, but I wasn't the one who said most anticipated movie of 07. I think that was Screamfest on Spike TV that said this. We were nominated for some award earlier in the year. That's where that comes from. But anyway, what you were saying, what were we talking, Jay? What were we talking about at 8:45? Let's fill our friend in here.
I don't remember.
I don't remember exactly what you were talking about, but I do remember you dropping the S-bomb. So,
thanks again for reminding us. Thanks for bringing that up, Chris. Oh wait, we lost our caller from Atlanta. No, I'm kidding.
Chris, he's already going to get fined for it.
Okay.
Let's stop talking about this, okay?
What we were talking about, I think, right around that time was we were talking about the intricacies of a high-level distribution deal and how when you're independent and you battle the independent production issues from beginning to end, how that's usually the final stages of getting a movie in front of an audience. But it's tough to actually understand the intricacies of the entire process unless you've lived out there and made your own film, which is one of the reasons maybe why I encourage everyone to go out there and try making their own film so they can see firsthand, exactly what the process is like, even on a limited scale. But we are trying to hammer some things out. We were going to read some classified distribution memos actually on the air, but when we were at commercial break, Jay said, let's not do that. Let's not jump up and down on anyone's neck.
That's cool, and I back you totally on that. I'm one of those kinds of people who I would much rather want to wait for quality.
Right.
And instead of having quantity right now. So
you're my kind of audience member. See, I think the same thing.
They can make your movie, and when it's ready, and I will go see it. So
hey, man, you know what? I appreciate that, and that is exactly our mentality. We think alike on that, where it's anyone can drop a movie into the theater at any time, but would the audience respect you or the film for it? And it's just far too much of yourself, your resources, and your time goes into it to just say, all right, let's stitch this thing together and get it out. It's like, wait another 4 months, wait another 6 months. It'll be much more worth it to you, and you'll get our best effort rather than an effort that's just hastily assembled and just rammed down your throat with some advertising money on MTV. But
exactly.
I think
just like the sequels, parts 2 and 3 for The Matrix and Pirates of the Caribbean. Number
I'm glad
one,
you said
blew
that, man.
everyone away, set standards for everything, and then 2 and 3 for both of them just dive bombed. It was just horrible because they were wanting to get quantity out instead of quality.
That's a very good point. I went to actually see Pirates of the Caribbean 3. My buddy's in it, so we shelled out the money, and there was sort of a sense of doom going into the theater. I mean, I guess I didn't expect much, but when I saw it, I was going. The thing about it that's almost unforgivable is they have all the resources and finance behind them you could ever want to make dozens of movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's like, how does all these multi-million-dollar projects where they've got people making $5 to $10 to $20 million for being there, shove that on us? That's where it's unforgivable. I mean, these guys are getting like $5 million to produce the film or direct the film, and I'm like, you know what? That's more than my budget times 2.5. It's like they're getting an astronomical amount of money, and it's just like, I hope you're happy with it.
They just it's awful. It really is.
You're a smart guy, Chris. What do you do down there in Atlanta?
I'm a computer geek.
If you do web design, let's get your contact information because I'm always looking for web designers.
I used to teach it, but my web stuff is really old school. Shameless plug coming up, actually. I'm checking out your store online.
Mm-hmm.
You probably remember me because I was the one last time who was talking about being able to buy the DVD, being able to buy stuff online, being able to, watch the movie in the comfort of my own home. Now, I've been keeping up with your web store, and I noticed that you have some storyboards up there. You've got a pair of boxers with the Wrecking Crew logo on it, which I'm personally going to have to buy that for myself.
Yeah, bring it.
Can't think of a better tagline for a pair of my boxers. But I'm
That's
so glad you guys got that.
Yeah, you got to edit that into a commercial.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definite.
One thing I don't see that I was really hoping for were movie posters. I'm talking
we got those. We did a limited edition first-run movie poster, completely sold out of it. So we're going to do an official poster coming up, and I've seen the proof of it. It's pretty good.
Okay.
But for you, being the kind of horror film that I respect, we're going to have to get this thing signed for you and ship you one.
Oh, there you go, man.
Oh, that would be fantastic, because that is actually something I'd be willing to pay for. I can't afford one of the storyboards, but I would shell out for a signed movie poster.
I'll tell you what, why don't we just, we'll write this one off on the camp. We'll charge this one to the Sin-Jin Smyth camp, because you're you, Chris.
There you go.
And,
outstanding.
We'll get something out to you in the next couple of weeks. How do we handle the formalities of where this poster's supposed to go?
I've
we
got.
don't have to wait for a break.
No, I'll take care of his contact info. We'll get him offline here, and I'll let D get that from him, and we'll get it to you. How's that sound?
Yeah, Chris, give it your information. Make sure it's a contact number. I'll look you up myself after we wrap up here, and we'll talk a little bit.
Sounds good.
Okay, buddy.
All right. Thanks so much, Chris. Have a good night. All right.
Look at that.
That was a good call. That's my kind of caller.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Chris is actually the executive producer of the film.
An associate producer credit. No.
He's actually the publicist / associate producer.
You know what's so funny in the world of film. A lot of people don't know this, but in law school, when they teach you entertainment law, they teach you that associate producer credits are like, I remember reading one treatise on entertainment law. It said associate producer credits, they're for people's boyfriends, girlfriends, anyone that really needs something that we're just going to give them a credit for.
They do say that. It does serve as a thank you. I wouldn't demean it to that level of saying it just goes out to somebody's girlfriend, although I'm sure it has multiple times. But, a lot of times, especially on Sin-Jin Smyth, we had a lot of contributors that did things above and beyond what was expected.
Guess who we've got on the other line?
Who?
Your wife.
You're kidding me.
No.
Bring it on.
Hi, honey.
Hey, sweetheart, how are you?
You sound so wonderful.
Jay's got me running through the source board. He's really working the levels well tonight, isn't he?
I just want to tell you how much I appreciate how well you've answered all the questions and all the stuff about the movie, and so clearly and concise. I really appreciate it. I am so happy you speak for us.
Oh, thank you. Now that's a special lady right there.
Oh, yeah.
We all, we could talk hours about this woman. And you may have guessed she has to put up with a lot.
Yeah, no.
But she's at Warner Brothers right now, actually. Loda, you're at Warner Brothers?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Are you? Through the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. G. Scott and company, they do a quality interview, don't they?
Yeah.
We do our best.
Did you hear real quick, did you hear about the caller who wanted the boxers with the Wrecking Crew logo? You don't hear that every day.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm sorry, this is what you...
I don't want to know where he's wearing this.
I don't either.
He seemed good. We got to back that guy up. He's
well, anyway, I want to let you go get the rest of the callers that don't get to see you
wait,
every
while
day.
you're here, this is a special opportunity. Jay, Trent, you guys have any questions for the boss? This is the boss. This is the producer right here.
Yeah, how do you keep him in line?
My question exactly.
Yeah, can you take these cuffs off now, Lotus?
Actually, he's not hard to keep in line, as you may think.
Uh-huh. She's got the secret weapon.
I see, probably.
And we won't talk about that on the air.
Oh, come on. No, I don't need any more FCC faux pas tonight.
This is a good opportunity because this is a sharp woman with a lot of things going on, not to mention the World War II Little Iron Men project starting later this year.
Oh.
Some other things.
Let me ask you a question, Loda. What's been most challenging for you about working on this film?
Just like Ethan said, it's people don't understand when you're independent and you don't have that. I work at Warner Brothers, so there's a whole army of things that they have at their fingertips that you don't have in the independent world, and it makes it so much easier. People think it's like, oh, it's just so easy to make a film. Yeah, it is when you're Weinstein, Disney.
Yeah.
When you're an independent film company and you're not locked to any person, and I wouldn't lock to any one studio ever. It's hard to get things going. It's hard to, finish and complete different things. You have conversations with one person, and then the turnover. We'd have a conversation with one company, I'm serious, and they would be gone.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
In the middle of our deal.
That's actually
you call back and you're like,
once.
they're no longer with you?
Oh, my
That's actually happened twice recently where we've had an executive say, hey, you're genius. we're going to sign a 3-picture deal right now, and next thing we know, the next week, well, that person's been fired.
Oh.
The first thing that goes through your mind is, like, I hope it's not because he offered me the deal.
So,
but yeah, people just disappear, man. I mean, it's a tough business. It's definitely a horse race. But I mean, if you get some good people around you and you can stay on target, as it were. I mean, let me tell you something. The firefight aspect of what it takes to deliver a movie, any kind of movie, is like it's more than we can discuss here. Nor would your audience probably want to hear the details, but. It's tough, and there are studios. They have millions of dollars. We talked about it with the Pirates of the Caribbean 3 and the Matrix sequels, which is property of Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah.
And they have,
That's why I don't own those films. Oh, I'm sorry. No offense, Loda.
Thousands of people and millions of dollars, and they still can't seem to get the most basic emotional elements right in a movie. So
they have to like say one thing in defense every now and then to get it right, because everybody loves 300.
Oh man!
Well, that's
yeah.
That was a fantastic film.
That's a good example. That's a very good example of what you're talking about. And they did get that movie right, I think.
Yeah.
And then, there's always, most of your bigger films that turn out to be your big blockbusters. A lot of times they come out that way.
Yeah. I mean, they have those elements that people want sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just to give you an example, I mean, did you see the movie or hear about the movie called Little Children?
No.
No.
Chuck's heard of it.
Kate Winslet?
No.
No, I still haven't.
Well, Kubrick's right-hand man was one of the producers of that movie.
Ah.
And he talked about how he couldn't get screens.
Wow.
It was reviewed as one of the best independent films of the year. Had got the best reviews of the year, and how he had to fight for screens.
Or Warner Brothers had what's the Hilary Swank horror film that recently saw the light of day about the apocalypse?
I don't know.
That film was in post-production for over a year, and with all the resources,
Oh,
they
about
couldn't
the
get that
plagues
movie
and stuff?
right.
About the plagues?
About the plagues in a small southern town?
Reaping.
But they're both very extreme circumstances where you got a movie, one with, one independently made, trying to see the light of day, another that's excellent, another movie that's got all the resources in the world behind it, they can't seem to get it right, or to a point where they feel it's right. I mean, every movie is its own circus of events.
But then they put out another Die Hard.
Yeah.
Which I actually do want to see.
Live free or
Die
die hard.
Because, I'm a
great
big
title.
Bruce Willis fan, so I'll actually go see
He showed me a clip where he actually slides off the wing of a tomcat. And when I saw that,
He's getting older, but he's getting more badass.
Getting angrier and tougher.
Yeah, he's going to turn out to be another Sean Connery.
Like an old piece of beef jerky. I don't know why I'm talking
But,
like
you see him do that Rocky Balboa example. Horrible film. Now there's going to be a new Indiana Jones. We can only hope that it'll be somewhat decent.
One thing Harrison Ford does well is Harrison Ford will play to age.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, he has got that sort of element that John Wayne kept, which kept him working so long, is he plays an older guy, and he will get hit and go down like an older guy, and he will play sore and beat up like an older guy, where a lot of these younger guys, like Chuck Norris, same age, he's still Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
No one's getting the drop on me.
Oh, wow.
So I think that, Harrison Ford will play it like, I'm over the hill, baby, and it'll be good because he's got great, competent filmmakers behind him. So I think it's going to be okay there.
Let's hope so.
Well, Loda, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Loda. See you when you come home.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And, for those of you that don't know, we do have an interview with Loda, but we're not releasing that. In order to get that and a bunch of the other interviews, you're going to have to buy the Sin-Jin Smyth DVD.
Whoops.
That's it. It's just a special
No
WOTU
negotiations about it, really.
only thing there. We've got a lot of interviews that we did from a convention that Ethan was at earlier. Was it last year?
Yeah,
Was it this
it was last year.
Yeah, and I've saved all those, and we've got a lot of actors on there, and Ethan and Loda, and it's just a really big event that we've got it all, a whole jam-packed WOTU hours of stuff.
And I think you got me right when I was at the bar, which made
I did.
a very good, candid interview.
It was very good. So you're going to have to check that out. You're going to have to get the DVD, rent it or buy it, and we'd prefer you buy it because,
Yeah, we would prefer you buy it.
But we're going to have to take a short break, our last break of the night, and we're going to be back in just a minute with Ethan Dettenmaier from Sin-Jin Smyth. Ring those phones, guys. Toll free, 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-YOU2. toll-free in the United States and Canada, or locally, 336-996-1596. You're listening to World of the Unexplained, and we'll be back after this.
What? Okay.
Welcome back, World Unexplained. We have Ethan Dettenmaier here.
Thanks, Deep. Appreciate
King of men.
Kind of caught him off guard.
Scholar
there.
and a gentleman.
That's right.
We're going to put that kid on double secret probation until he gets this introduction.
Double secret
Give us a
probation.
call, guys. The numbers are 1-877-722-7382 or 1-877-SCARE-YOU2. The local number is 336-996-1596. That's right, 666. How about that?
There's no 666.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
there's
it is. 336-996-1596 at the end of the number.
Yeah.
666.
We didn't do that intentionally. They gave us that number.
Kind of creepy, really.
Anyway, Ethan,
So-
what's in the works right now? You talked about a couple World War II movies. You also talked about so maybe another film you're working on with some different actors.
We never really do. We kind of just glance over it, But if you really want to know what's going on, we're doing a 70s police satire piece with Isaac Hayes doing the music called Night Fever with a K.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good piece, super 70s. A great cast is building for that, and it's a nice movie if you like that kind of French Connection.
Fever with a
I do.
Fever with
Actually,
a K.
I'm a
don't
big
get
fan
it.
of French Connection and those kind of 70s.
Fever.
crime
How do you
films.
spell fever with a K? No, I'm kidding.
K-N-I-G-H-T.
No, I know. I was kidding.
F-E-V-E-R. And heretic is spelled J-S-C-O-T.
Yeah, how about that? Twist it.
Oh my God.
No, but seriously, we're doing that. That's a big film for me because that's actually the script I wrote that got me out of the mailroom. That's the one that went around as a work sample that got certain people interested in the fact that I could actually write something down, which was a big step because I was working in a mailroom and I was dyslexic. So it was kind of nice that somebody looked at that and said, this could be an interesting script. And now that movie's about to move forward.
Okay, well, good. Now, can you tell us any of the other
Projects.
actors that you're working with,
I'm sorry,
or
yeah.
any
Well,
projects?
we're doing another movie where they're going to go at the same time. We're doing a movie about a rogue SAS commando squad and like a rogue NATO group that goes into combat. That's actually a movie called Brigade. That's got a lot of interesting people attached to it, including Jeremy Bulloch, who you may remember played Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah.
And Empire Strikes Back. I mean, there's a lot of great people, but some of the iconic people that I respond to, I mean, Jeremy Bulloch, definitely one of them, having 50 years of experience as an actor behind him. And, Yoko Aloha, who was the German who fought with the arrow in his neck in Kingdom of Heaven, and a lot of interesting people in that piece. And then we're doing this World War II piece, which is interesting. It's about the 442nd, a Japanese-American division that rescues a lost battalion in World War II called Little Iron Men.
Oh, wow.
Sounds cool.
It's very cool. There's a site going up for that soon that you'll be able to check out. It's very, very good stuff. And it's all historically based. And then we're doing Soldiers of Destruction, which is a pretty big, ambitious movie next year. And that's about German tank commanders that survived the Battle of Stalingrad and joined the plot to kill Hitler.
Oh.
And that's also based on real events. And there's some other...
Yeah, that sounds right up my alley. Hope it's a better Battle of Stalingrad movie than Enemy of the Gates.
Well, this one's real interesting because Enemy of the Gates kind of focused on the sniper rivalry. Mm-hmm. This really gives you the whole scope of how like a city almost the size of like modern-day Los Angeles was surrounded and how it became kind of basically welcome to hell.
Yeah.
And, with 300,000 troops on the inside of the pocket, Russians surround it, cut it off, and another million, troops trying to break in to liberate that pocket, and how it just disintegrated into disaster. And then, of course, it became such a disaster that it rattled the Third Reich apart. Not that they weren't going to be rattled apart anyway, but it's pretty interesting movie, especially because it offers something of a new perspective that I think a lot of American audiences who get their history lessons from Hollywood, regrettably, would appreciate,
I think I would definitely appreciate that. What's the name of it again?
It's called Soldiers of Destruction. Okay. In fact, if you're really interested, I'll let you guys see a rough draft of the script because I'm very proud of it.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
You can actually see what a script looks like before it goes into pre-production and storyboards start getting, assembled and sketched out, and storyboards and the pre-production elements and the set models get built. In Smith, it was kind of cool to see everything come to life in the form of like a small-scale model, which in turn became sets, which, it's really interesting to watch it go from storyboards and concept design to the real thing. And you guys might find it interesting to look at this script because it's this script reads almost like a book. It's not as technical as a lot of scripts are, where it's interior, exterior, this is your shot, this is your camera move, the actor does this. And it can become kind of a very mundane read. This is actually more of it almost reads like an adventure story. It's a cool book. It's very long. It's a 200-page script.
Wow.
But, yeah, and it's got a lot of characters. But it'll be interesting to find what a couple of guys like yourselves out of North Carolina think about something like this.
Huh.
We'll do a little research study.
Okay.
It'll be cool. Yeah.
Look
forward to it.
When are we going to get a new trailer out of you for Sin-Jin?
I heard there's one already out. Somebody cut one for YouTube, I heard.
Really?
That it's a pirate cut. That's what I've been hearing, although I can't find it.
Huh.
But there's three trailers that have been cut. They went to the Berlin Film Festival, then they went to the Cannes Film Festival, and that's where they were kind of tested out for audiences there at the marketplace. And they're going to go on air pretty quick here. We're waiting for something, probably a release date to announce with the trailer. That's what we would like to do. If we don't get that ironed out anytime soon, then you're going to get the trailer anyway. But that's what it is. There was 3 trailers that went to. Hey, Ben Deadman just walked in.
Okay.
Jay Scott. Hey, he says thank you.
Tell him
he's got a suitcase in his hands and he's kind of stumbling towards his car in a hurry.
Just let him go, man.
Tell him one day I may ask him to do something for me.
There'll be pressing business for him in Rome.
The Godfather, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I know the dialogue well. You know, they re-edited that and they've been running it on Bravo and with the timeline that.
I've got that on Laserdisc, the 7 Laserdisc collection that came out in. I actually picked it up for about $75 on eBay.
Do you ever get tired of watching that movie? Let me ask you.
No.
It's a great movie.
Absolutely not.
And you know, he only made that film. Coppola only made that film to finance. I can't remember what movie it was now.
Some other movie not.
That
nearly
wasn't
as good.
nearly as great. Yeah, but he only made Godfather to finance some other movie that turned out to be not as successful.
Hey, you want some inside trivia on that movie? Hold on, I'm opening a box of Pop-Tarts up for my kid.
Oh, I was going to say the trivia's in the Pop-Tarts?
How about that?
My God.
You people are so secretive and bizarre.
Get down to your local Kroger Martin, help yourself.
We don't have Kroger's here anymore.
We used to, but
they took them away.
Yeah, they're all
no
gone.
more.
Gone like the dodo.
Yep. We still have Winn-Dixie.
Sam Peckinpah was supposed to be the original director for Godfather.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's true. And can you imagine what kind of movie it would have been had that been the case?
Not the same film by any means.
Definitely, it would have had more of a wild bunch. I think Italians would have been very upset with it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'd actually heard that some of the mafioso Italian guys have actually adopted the kissing, you know, of the ring, the whole thing, because of that film.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a funny thing. I don't know how many times I've seen the movie. I happened to catch it on Bravo one morning, like in the last week, and there I was watching the thing again. And it's like you can only hope today that filmmakers try to do movies that have that kind of impact, you know.
And they don't.
Where 30 years later, you're like, it's on. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
But it's a fun movie. What brought that up anyway? Who mentioned Godfather?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about how I bought it on Laserdisc because it's all, I think you brought it up, actually. Yeah, edited on Bravo. Yeah, because, you know, that's what I would always brag about. When they came out with a DVD, they never released it, you know, in that chronology timeline, and I had it because you could only get it on Laserdisc. That's the only way you could get it.
I don't know how to feel about the timeline shift, but apparently some people love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I enjoy it.
It's a fun series, though, man.
But, you know, going back to good horror films, what do you think your favorite horror film is right now? Besides your own. You can't use that.
Yeah.
You know, I really like the work of James Whale. I love the original Invisible Man and Frankenstein. And I don't know if it's because I'm nostalgic, but I really like the way he textured out the shots with the weather and the elements and really doing much more than just putting an actor on his mark and shooting it. Because those were all done on the Universal backlot. It was sunny downtown Los Angeles, and it looked like, you know, the Austrian countryside in some of those movies.
Oh, yeah. What did you...
I really like... We do have this talk... We come back to this every once in a while when we talk on the air, but I like those movies. I mean, I liked Kubrick's The Shining a lot.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it's a good one to like.
What's that?
I said it was a good one to like.
Yeah, I liked Tobe Hooper's Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I had fun watching that movie. I mean, a lot of them are pretty terrible. I love Carpenter's The Thing.
What do you think about Halloween?
Oh yeah, that was I enjoyed that one too. The remake with that Douglas guy.
What do you think about the Halloween franchise?
I don't know. I'm going to piss off half of America. I'm sure.
Including me.
Really, I don't discredit those films, but I'm not 100% in love with those films the way some other horror fans are. I mean, I like to watch the first one, but I'm not sure if I like it because it's on, it's a good movie, or because it takes place on Halloween and it's almost like ceremonial.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the idea, the way that they took him and they made, they created, I think the back characters or the supporting characters add so much to that series because of the, Donald Pleasance.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that helped. It's good acting. It's not just about hack and slash.
Right. And there's something to be said for that. And another thing about that movie that's impressive is that they made it on like $300,000 and change.
Oh, yeah. Now, let me ask you another question. This might be a little bit more difficult. How does it make you feel? And I don't know, you may have loved the movie. I thought it kind of sucked. But how does it make you feel when you see a film like Blair Witch Project?
Get motion sickness in the process of watching it?
Yeah, but it blows up so big. And, one of the reasons it did is because there was so much hype behind it, and that's what really drove those ticket sales up. But how does it make you feel to see something like that and to know how hard you worked, with the super budget you have to get money for, and you see these guys go out with a bunch of
video cameras in the woods.
They use 16 millimeter or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know what the format was specifically. I haven't seen it in a while, but my response to that is good for them, man. Go get it. If you can go out there in the woods with a camera and make something interesting, or something that
they do it every day on the internet. So they do it every day on the internet.
I look at it and I go, hey, it really wasn't a movie I enjoyed. I had a tough time following it. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
You do.
But I lost you there. I mean, I kind of got motion sickness, but I mean, my response to that is if you can go out there and keep people entertained with what it is you're doing, go do it. And you got to support those kind of guys for going out there and, I mean, you got to give them credit where credit's due on a certain level. However you feel about the movie creatively, they went out into their backwoods and made a movie that captivated America.
Oh no, I guess it just makes me mad to see certain artists that I see playing music. That we work really hard to do what we do. We sound really good, and we deserve, in my mind, something at least to be distributed and be on a major label. We see these bands that come and go that are terrible live, and they're terrible in the studio, and you're like, how's this happening? And it just makes me mad.
Yeah.
One of the things, man, is as an artist, and you know this because you're in the business too. You've got to be happy with your own work first.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm totally happy with my own work.
It's great when people respond to it. It is great when people support it. But if they don't, I'm still happy with it because I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if somebody else, goes out and says, hey, man, your movie about the devil may have Jonathan Davis, but I just shot mine for $40,000, and I just got, and I got the Weinsteins are going to put mine in 4,000 theaters. My response it doesn't stem from a jealous perspective. I'm like, hey, man, if you were able to do that, great. Go kill it. Go do as much as you can, however you can, because art is not competitive.
Oh, this isn't art. Some of this music, let me tell you.
Listen, we know that a lot of music that comes out there, in my opinion, is crap.
Yeah.
But if someone can perform it, have fun performing it, and actually sell it to somebody, hey, what am I going to do? I'm past having fought my way through a movie. I'm the past telling people how crappy their stuff is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I guess what the sequel to that film did. Unfortunately, I did see it, and it was probably about as bad as The Heretic 2. As far as
it was.
The sequel to the Blair Witch 2. I don't remember what the subtitle. It had nothing. Well, it had nothing
Blair
to
Witch
do
2,
with the
it was
first
just,
one.
they had a whole bunch of money, and then it was just horrible.
Yeah, and it was the same thing we were talking about earlier, Ethan, where it's just Hollywood throws a bunch of money at something and says, "Throw me together a script." The guy writes it in his underwear over his cornflakes, overnight, and then throws it together in all these piece pages and says, "Okay, let's throw a cast together and let's put this thing out in 3 weeks."
A bunch of monkeys in a room with typewriters.
Yeah, I mean,
in many cases, they are a bunch of monkeys in the room cutting the checks and making the decisions, and that's just regrettably the case until the system implodes. But I mean, that's just what you're going to deal with. And if you want to rebel against that kind of executive, non-imaginative shot calling from the front office, then you're going to have to reach out and encourage independent filmmakers to get moving, or support independent films more, and try and put your perspective towards those guys who are outside the system, and there's a lot of them that are making movies, and hopefully you can find a few good ones. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people, I guess, making independent films, and maybe some of them deserve to be overlooked. I don't know, but find the ones you like.
You're probably right.
Support the people that are good quality people that are out there doing it, and I just my perspective is, hey, do the best you can, and people will react how they react, and then just move on. I mean, I don't think the Rolling Stones, man, when they put out Sticky Fingers, I don't think, when critics say, hey, this sucks, it's just like your last record, I don't think they cared.
You're probably right.
This is our record, F you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to take the same approach. It's like, this is the movie, F you, I'm on to another movie. You don't like that one too? Hey, write your congressman. I'm not, from a self-esteem standpoint, I'm not attached to my film. If you want to kick my effort around, hey, I'm still going to tell you the same thing day in and day out. I did the best I could. I'm sorry you don't like it. It's not like you're kicking me around. I got a life. So it's like I just tell people, hey, go out there, make your movie in the woods. Shoot it, and if somebody likes it, awesome. More power to you, man. Try and make another one.
Yeah.
Definitely. What? There was a movie that came out a few years ago, probably in the 90s. I don't remember exactly the name of the film. Maybe you do.
No, The Heretic was the 80s.
No. It was a film about Hollywood and about the business, and it was called, it had, what's the guy's name? Tim...
Robbins?
Yes, played in it. Are you familiar with
The Player?
Yeah, The Player. That's it. The Player. How do you feel?
That movie's true in a lot of ways, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, I mean, is that pretty much what Hollywood's like to a larger degree?
If you got people like Buck Henry pitching scripts like The Graduate 2, that actually happened.
No kidding.
Happened.
The
And
Graduate
that was
2?
made by Warner Brothers. Not The Player, but The Graduate 2. So it's like, you hear that. I mean, to me, the classic part of the movie was, the writer runs in to talk to Tim Robbins and says, hey, I got this movie. I know we're not meeting until next week. And Tim Robbins is just beelining to his office and says, I didn't realize we were meeting next week. And he goes, and the writer basically fronts it and says, yeah, you're right, we're not meeting, but I got a script I got to tell you about. It's about a distant galaxy with two suns, and Tim Robbins' executive response is typical, which is, who plays the suns? And he goes, no, it's two suns, like suns in the solar system. And it just, what it epitomizes is, there's a guy talking on a creative level, and there's another guy who doesn't even hear him. He just wants to know, what are the facets and the elements in place that are going to sell it? It's like, number one, I'm not sure where I'm even meeting you, and who's in the movie. I don't even care what the movie's about. And then, of course, you got Fred Ward playing the security guy who's walking around saying, everything's like MTV. It's just cut, 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 and that's true. You're hearing him like, the security guy does know more about the people, about movies than the executives, and he is like hitting it on the head. It is like MTV right now. So it is kind of funny in a way that, Warner Brothers, it runs like that. Executives just want to know who's in the movie. Security knows how to make a movie better than the executives do.
And they don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
And no one calls me back. So it all works out.
Well, Ethan, I'm going to give you the final word, man.
Yeah.
Final word, final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
How about thank you for letting me be a part of the show? It's one of my favorite shows to be a part of.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay.
I'm cutting out. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me. But
no problem.
Wait.
Well, thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
A serious thank you goes to people, not just yourselves for taking the time to put me on, but the people that are actually interested in what we're doing here. I mean, that's a big thing to us, and I don't think we can really put it into words. But from a sincerity standpoint, that means more than most people will ever know. And I think that if I could say anything, if you're going to actually allow me to speak my mind for a minute, I would like to say thank you to anyone who's expressed interest in what we're about and what we're doing.
All right.
Excellent.
Awesome. We're going to have you back on soon, Ethan. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Dee said something about having me on December 2009. Was that what he told me? Or?
I have no idea what Dee's doing.
We're discussing that,
I'm pretty sure I'm free.
All right. Well, Ethan, we'll get up later, and we'll talk about this filming out here in Winston.
Yeah. Let us know something, all right?
No, we definitely need to talk shop about that, and thank you guys for the time.
Thank you so much. We
Thank you for coming on.
Have a good night, buddy.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Ethan Dettenmaier. Wow.
Always a fun interview. He didn't get to his Iggy Pop story.
We'll get it next time. He's got so many stories.
He does have, that
fun.
That Steven Seagal story they came up with.
I love the Steven Seagal impersonation he does.
Oh, it was awesome. It really was. That was our...
Yeah, I've got to talk to him. We got to get Steven Seagal on here. That would be hilarious.
Should we?
We should. We should. But
yeah, we always get the guess,
But that's great, man. That was quite a surprise. I didn't even know that the whole Winston-Salem thing.
Yeah,
I mean that's going to be awesome.
Very, very cool. We're going to have to.
Chuck will be there. I'll be there. You'll be there. Dee will be there. It'll be great.
Oh yeah, well, we're going to take it out and chop it up.
That's right.
But anyway, congratulations again on your your great life-changing decision.
That's crazy, man. Buy a house, start a law firm, get married.
Yeah.
Before you know it, I'll be having kids. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks so much, Dee. I appreciate that.
We do not want your seed to spread and linger on in the world of men. I don't know, that was a weird Tolkien thing there.
It's just a lot of life-changing stuff all slapping me at one time.
Yeah, to the left and to the right.
Yes, one large hand smacking me in the head. It's
Scott, you never told us a movie that you liked recently and a movie that stunk recently.
It's because I really haven't seen any movies that recently that are new.
I guess
I haven't been at the theater.
No, that's understandable.
I want to go. I want to see the movie you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I want to see the new Harry Potter film. I've got to see
that. That sounds great.
Oh, come on. You're going to be there, too. Don't even play that off. Anyway, and I want to... Yeah, and then I want to see I do want to see the new Die Hard movie.
Yeah, I mean, live free or die hard. Come on, that's so cheesy. You got to watch it.
It's over here in Kville for like $3.
Let's go see it tomorrow, man.
I'm taking advantage of that. Yeah, okay, we'll do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, sure, sounds good.
Sounds fun.
But yeah, live free or die hard. $3 in Kernersville.
Take that, New Hampshire. I mean, that's their.
New Hampshire?
State, yeah, I think that's their state motto. Live free or die.
Live free or die.
Greatest state motto in the whole United States, probably. Live free or die.
Well, that was the one. Was that Pennsylvania? It wasn't New Hampshire.
Pennsylvania was something like America starts here.
No, that was on the signs. It's Keystone State.
Keystone.
Yeah.
Well, no, but they have a motto though.
Live free or it's live free or die or something like that.
It is live free or die, but that's New Hampshire.
Yeah, but that's the one that I was telling you about that had the court case where the guy took a piece of duct tape or masking tape or something and covered it so you couldn't see it.
Why would he cover up such a great...
Because he didn't support that speech.
He's a pacifist.
Man. And so it went to court.
Quaker.
It went to court.
Nah, Quakers are cool.
It went to court, and the Supreme Court said that he could cover it up because they were trying to press their speech on him. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's too bad.
That's how liberal America's gotten.
That's too bad, because that's a great heroic, awe-inspiring, reminds us of the revolutionary fathers,
I agree. But, yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure, but I might be it.
Texas, the village idiot state. They're changing their logo. Anyway. Chuck's just shaking his head. This is Jay Scott, your only JD DJ on the OmniSound Radio 1 network, and which we're not broadcasting on OmniSound tonight because, well...
So you shouldn't have said that, really.
I shouldn't have, but that's okay.
Just say some other kind of radio network. Shout out to all of our affiliates out there.
KWSS.
Mm-hmm. Snoqualmie. Those dudes.
That's right.
We
East
talk
Hill.
To them. Robin Valley. Yep.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Fox FM.
That's right. All you guys. Thank you for broadcasting us. Anyway, but right now, I'm Trent Lackey.
Those that we forgot, we apologize.
Well, don't have time. This is Trent Lackey. We're coming to you from Kernersville, North Carolina. A small town where we're talking about big things.
Mr. Chuck Browder.
Take us out.
We out.